the birds turn, turn, turn. And that's from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, 1 through 8. And we're going to go over the shorts. It's a short 15-second one. And we've got the Five of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Magician. So this is the overall energy of right now. And Willie's leading the show. Is Willie there? He loves the cards. So, besides Ecclesiastics, we want you to look up Matthew 9, verse 23. And this is about the bleeding woman. We've got the yellow light. And this looks like an airplane runway. Okay, so specifically Matthew chapter 9, I would say all of it, and Ecclesiastes chapter 3, I would say all of it. So what Astro is just having me do here is they're telling me that we're going through a major turning point. It's really important right now to have faith like the bleeding woman. And you know the Five of Pentacles, that energy. We have, I'm going to go ahead and Google this because I want to. They're telling me to. I have to go by what they're saying. So, Five of Pentacles energy.
The Five of Pentacles often suggests a period of financial difficulty or feeling isolated, which can stem from a scarcity mindset. However, it also carries a message of resilience and eventual recovery from these struggles.
The energy is one of struggling through a difficult time, but with an inherent message of resilience and eventually recover. So that's it exactly. That's the exact energy that's going on, because there's exactly what's going on is turn, turn, turn. So how do you do that? They gave you the tools right here. With your animals being in Hierophant energy and using your magician power. Now that could be the reading right there, but we'll do a little bit deeper. We'll see what's underneath the Hierophant is your destiny. And underneath the Magician is the Chariot. So if you go a little deeper, you're seeing that your destiny is playing out. Turn, turn, turn makes total sense. Make sure you look up them lyrics. Chariot, coming in fast. Now, since I gave you Matthew chapter 9 and Ecclesiastes chapter 3, the birds turn, turn, turn lyrics. Let's check out the lyrics. For your search. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Now, this is going to be in Ecclesiastes, and this song was by the Birds in 65. But Peter Seeger actually wrote it, and I wrote that down because I Googled it, and it says in 59, he actually wrote it and recorded it in 62, and then the Birds redid it in 65. But it's from the Bible, so one of us wrote it. A time to be born, a time to die, plant, reap, kill, heal, laugh, and weep. All right. And then it says, then we build up, we break down, we dance, we mourn, we cast away the stones, we gather the stones. Love, hate, War, peace, reminds me of the pendulum swings, a time to embrace and refrain from embracing. And that's what's going on. So we're going through this turn phase. Now, we're hoping to put an end to evil and then have our 1,000-year reign of peace. But once again, I don't predict the future. Everything that we've been told is a lie. So, how do you know what's really going to happen in the future? You don't. So, that's why we need you in your physical avatars to stay in the now. A lot of you still are not doing that, I'm feeling, but it's a practice. It takes time to figure out how to live in the now. That pushing stop is really important because the old memories will come in and the old programs want you to get off track, and you just have to push stop. So underneath the star in reverse, we have the Nine of Cups. So your wishes and your desires are not fulfilled. And that goes back to where the destiny has not quite played out yet, because there's still too many illusions. There's too much bullshit going on. The moon, Four of Pentacles. So you're still in your survival mode and you're still in the miser mode. But look at this weekend. Why are all the stores wiped clean? Why is everybody in fear? Well, if you look at the news, not here in California, but if you look at the news, half the United States, if not more, is getting all this snow that they put a lighter to that you can burn. Did you guys see that on the internet? They're burning snow. They're saying it's made of plastic. So do you see how everything is trying to get you into this Four of Pentacles mode of miserly and scarcity and survival mode? Yeah, so we have to break free from that. Break free from the illusion by using your magician skills. Okay? Underneath the Chariot, we've got, the deceptions and the lies. So that goes right along with the moon energy, right? Deception and the lies everywhere. So how do you do that, right? Well, you know what's going on, but you don't let it control you. Okay? You keep going towards your fantasy land. You keep doing what you're doing. You go forward. You go towards your Ten of Pentacles, whatever that is. If it's a happy family, a relationship, a job, whatever your physical avatar is saying, I want to do this, which mine is to be full-time on my spaceship, right? Okay, then I have to go towards it. How do you do that one in a physical avatar? See, that one's even harder because I'm not going to have a horse ranch or a pet sanctuary anymore. As long as God says I don't have to, of course. I will always change my soul contract for God. Okay. Now we've got the King of Cups. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for my King of Cups. I'm going for my Hierophant, my Magician. Okay. That's all about love and abundance. And it's the abundance of the two together, not the abundance of money. But it is pets, the elders, and us. Okay. And then we have the wild card. So it's in your hands. Where do you want to put your thinking? Do you want to put it in Pentacles? Ace of Pentacles is in reverse. So it's saying go back to the King of Cups versus the Pentacle. Okay, and then underneath the lies and the deception is the perspective. And that's just what I said. The news wants you to be in a perspective of miserly, survival. So your new perspective has to be of you standing up. See how that looks like he's standing up and taking charge of his 10 of cups and his 10 of pentacles. You got a 10 of cups and a 10 of pentacles here. 10 of cups and a 10 of pentacles. So you have to get a new perspective over the lies. Equal give and take. 6 of pentacle card. So instead of being miserly, you want to be equal give and take. You have everything you need. You're the queen of pattern. Keep manifesting. My 3 of pentacles. And then we got Ace of Swords, which is Michael's sword of truth that we've been having a lot lately. The truth has to prevail. So once again, if you say, well, the Bible isn't true, or the books of the Bibles are gone, a lot of them, 777 are missing, whatever. You have to remember that we wrote the Bible. We did in past lives. Okay, so that's why I studied the Bible in this life, because I knew the truth and I knew what books were missing. And I'm like, well, Mary's book ain't in there. You know, Thomas's book ain't in there. Where are all these missing books? So I knew it right away. Okay, but I study the Bible because in Matthew, there's going to be something that God wants to tell me about that story about the bleeding woman. And we're these people. That's who we are. One of you listening is that bleeding woman and really relates to this story. You're really her. We're back here. Here we are. Okay? So between Ecclesiastes 3 and Matthew 9, I'm going to get a whole lesson today. Plus the music. Somebody, not Pete, Pete wrote it in 58. The Byrds redid it in 65. But we, one of us, wrote that song. And that's going to really hit you. And you're going to say, yeah, I did. Well, years ago, you couldn't run around in the Matrix telling people you wrote it. They'd think you're crazy, lock you up and put you on Prozac. Today, I want you to be running around saying, yeah, I'm the one. I'm the one that wrote that song. And I'm going to keep on writing. Okay, so we're going to stay in our page of cups energy. We're going to stay going towards love. The page is the childish energy, being like a child, not being afraid to say, I wrote turn, 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 not being afraid to say, I am that bleeding woman in that story, right? I'm not, but one of you are. Get out of your anxiety, get your head off of your head, your hands off of your head, and take all them knives. And do you see how they're not hitting her? Because she's saying stop. And she's got the superpower to stop them knives from coming at her. And they're all going to go this way and that way, and she's going to stand up. She's going to stand right up like this hanged man. And she's going to get a new perspective. Okay? So you're catching what's going on here. We got to get these 10 swords, these 10 syringes out of our back. Communication that's coming in, I'm hearing is false. So whatever you're going to hear on the radio about the communication that's coming in, I don't feel that it's right. I feel that that's where your deceptions are coming from. You're not doing enough going within, listening to the music, watching the movies, looking up the Bible quotes. You got CNN on or Fox News or some kind of news, and you're getting too fear-mongled. Okay? So it's time to be courageous and daring, but it's in reverse. So you're not being courageous and daring enough. 10 of Pentacles again, but in reverse, because you don't feel like you have what you need. You don't feel like that Queen of Pentacles, and it's all coming from the devil. So there was your backup to my warning. There he is. Okay, so hopefully you will listen to what I'm saying and check out them Bible verses, figure out who you are in the Bible, and really connect with these stories. When you're hearing the story about the bleeding woman, you can say, yeah, I remember that scene perfectly. And I thought, wow, what faith she has. And I also was thinking, yeah, he'll heal her in a second. She don't even have to touch him. And it all happened. And then Ecclesiastics, whoever wrote that was such a beautiful songwriter and poet. So keep on keeping on. Let's look under one more or two here. We've got the death card. Yep. So put the death card, transform your thinking, get the devil out of your energy. That's a good place to leave it right there. Okay, you guys, I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.